Hey guys, real quick before we start the show, wanted to let you know kind of how we do things around here, how we do the podcast. If you've ever wanted to make a podcast, we use Spotify. Spotify's got a platform that lets you make a podcast really, really easy. And then they let you distribute it everywhere and even earn some money if you want a little change, cha-ching in your pocket. And they do it all in one place, and it's for free. That's the exciting part. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Here's how it works. They let you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or your computer, and then they'll let you distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. And if you want to take your conversations to the next level, they have really cool features like Q&A and polls, and those are the things that really get people and your fans talking about things. So with Spotify for Podcasters, you can also earn money, including ads and podcast subscriptions, and the best of all, like I said, it's totally free with no catch. Ever since I've discovered it, I feel like the options of the Q&A and the video options and the polls has really let me take the creativity of my podcasting to another level. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today. Hey guys, today we're doing something I'm really nervous about. Let me just stop this for a sec. I'm really nervous about today's show. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It's not about conspiracy nuts. It's about, we're doing episode 27, the Clinton body count, and I'm nervous as heck. I don't know. Are you guys?
A little bit.
A little bit.
I'm nervous.
I think we'll be okay.
Ives and Enterprises exclusively presents a talk show that will get to the bottom of things once and for all. And now here's your host for Let's Get to the Bottom of That. Three weirdos on a mic. Come on in, the water's fine. The water is just fine.
It is.
I got Mike and Jason in studio, and we are at it again. My name is Byron Dice, and this is Let's Get to the Bottom of That. Today is a special episode because, like I said right before the intro, I'm kind of nervous about this one, the Clinton body count, because people have talked about this for a long time. It's not just Bill Clinton, it's Hillary Clinton.
And Chelsea Clinton.
And Chelsea.
Yep.
Yeah. That's weird, these political families.
Yeah, dude.
Right, we talked about the Bidens. They're kind of a weird group, and they got corruption going. Now we're talking about the Clintons, but the Clintons are special because I don't think a body count has followed the Bidens like the Clintons.
No.
Well, it hasn't surfaced.
What do you mean followed? Like,
well, I mean, like
who has more?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't hear the Biden body count.
Yeah,
that's just something I don't hear of.
The Clintons got everybody beat according to anything I found.
Well, today we are talking about the Clinton body count. Jason, you got some news today, right? Another drone was shot down.
Yeah.
What do you got? Let's go over some current events real quick, then we'll get into the Clintons.
Well, did you guys hear about the drone, the Russian drone that was shot down? Was it
I
over
did
the
not hear about this. Please tell me.
Well, the Russians, quote unquote, ran into one of our drones, one of the propellers of our drones.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Ran into? What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what.
With another drone?
Or a plane? With an aircraft.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't get that close to a drone without the drone maneuvering away. Like, you can't just run into a drone without somebody knowing, right? Somebody that's
somebody
operating.
had to know that thing was in the vicinity,
right?
So it was brought down intentionally.
I think so. They're saying that it was an accident, pure accident.
Yeah. What are we gonna do about it? I mean, are we gonna go to war over a drone?
No, they don't want. They won't go to war at all.
Well, we'll probably send them some money. You know.
Yeah. They'll do it again.
Hey.
They'll do it again to the next drone too.
Hey, what kind of plane went down though? Was anybody killed?
No, I don't think so.
Was it a fighter plane or was it a airline?
No, it was
commercial air.
No, it was a military plane.
Military plane. So the dude ejected out of it.
Yeah. Or, they're not giving much information. They just said that from the article that I read. I think I sent you guys the article that I sent. Just said that one of our aircrafts was brought down by a Russian aircraft. One of our drones was brought down by a Russian aircraft over the Baltic Sea. Was it the Baltic Sea? Or was it the Black Sea?
I can't remember exactly.
One of
I
those
think
seas.
the Black Sea, but I can't remember for sure.
Yeah. So that's what they said. They're not going to do anything.
So
Biden's not going to do
it was an
anything.
unmanned drone.
Mm-hmm.
So what were we
What was
talking
it
about
doing
a
over
second
there?
ago with like someone ejecting?
No, Byron.
No,
asked
I
him
was
if-
asking, if somebody
if the
ran
Russian
into
pilot
it,
may be ejected.
Oh, according to them.
if it was an
colliding with it?
accident.
Oh,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I
see
ran
what you're
into it. Oh my gosh, I'm going down in the Baltic Sea. I better
Yeah.
pull this thing out
I see.
to shoot.
But those
Yeah,
drones.
they probably just shut it down, dude.
You think? You think?
Yeah.
What was our drone doing there? That's a good question.
Our drones survey the area. It's international waters. It's international airspace. I mean,
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't y'all show me a graphic of all drones that are currently in the air? Or was that when we were talking about 9/11? Did you show me a graphic of all the airlines that are in the air currently?
I think we did see that.
I don't know if that was airlines or drones, but I think there's a website where you can go and see all the drones that are currently in the air.
I sent you that.
You did?
Yeah, I sent
Okay,
that.
so that
I
is
don't
very
recall seeing that.
interesting.
Yeah. No, I sent you that when that it was about a month ago when all our aircraft scrambled, all their jets scrambled.
That's
the air.
right. And
Yeah.
you showed me.
Yeah.
Can I talk today? I don't know.
Yeah.
You showed me everything that was live in the air.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I wonder if there's a thing that you can go see all the drones in the air.
I don't know,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I have a buddy that's a drone operator. He can't talk about it.
What?
Yeah, you can't.
Where's he stationed?
St. Louis?
Oh, they have those all over the place.
Yeah, he can't talk about it.
Are y'all a
Wow,
fan of
okay.
24?
He's class.
Yeah.
He has a classified status where he can't talk about it.
Oh, they can't.
His phone's for sure tapped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they can't even go to they have to go.
He can't even listen to this show.
They got to go to specific doctors. They have to do all this stuff because they can't. They have to go. That's permission.
Yeah, you have to
Permissible
stay.
body.
Yeah, you have to stay. Your mind has to be mentally right in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you say you like 24?
Yeah.
There was an season 8. Somebody created a device that could hack into the drone operators, and they could actually fly the drones themselves.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's pretty wild stuff.
I wonder if that's something they could really do, because they shot a missile down and killed like this commander, and the dude that was operating the drone was like, I've lost control, but it looked like he was the one that fired it.
Yeah.
So
I bet you could do something like that. I mean, you can hack a Tesla and make it do all sorts of things.
Well, sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yep.
That's interesting. I wonder if we can get him on the show, the drone operator.
And then he'll be
Oh,
like,
no,
I can't.
I can't
answer
talk.
that.
Yeah,
We'll change your voice to sound like this. I'm in St. Louis and I like fly drones over Afghanistan. And one time I killed this kid and he didn't have any legs.
No, that's really what happens.
Oh,
That's-
okay.
Yeah, that's really what happens.
I was just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he could. I don't think he would risk his job for that.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that to him
No.
at all.
He's a crazy guy.
Well, today's episode, unfortunately, is the Clinton body count. I don't even know where to start. Just the term body count means, let's just go high level. The Clinton, because you'll see that if you just Google the Clinton body count, you're going to get all kind of information.
Right.
What it means is somebody that has been connected to the Clintons that either was going to upset his political career or do some kind of, had information that could damage him publicly. Those people are dead. That's the bottom line right there. And I was watching for research for this show. Mike sent me a documentary. I really suggest you go watch it. It's from Greg Reese. I really like his stuff.
He's great.
His voice is it just sucks me in, whatever he's talking about. He's got that good voice, and it sucks me in. I'm like, this guy, he's preaching from a pulpit right now. He's about to, pull Matthew 6:16 out, and I'm just in there zoned in. He's just got a great voice. Anyway, Greg Reese, body count, Clinton body count. Go watch it.
Yeah,
And,
people say that you have a good voice.
Oh, really?
He does.
Yeah,
Well, I can change it too.
Oh my gosh.
I can go down here like this.
Slow.
99.5, the buzzard. We got Led Zeppelin coming up next.
That's amazing.
Because you used to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome.
Anyway, so Mike, I think you're going to lead the show today. We're going all the way back to 1977, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when Clinton got in power, but if people don't know, William Clinton, not sure his middle initial. I almost said William H., but that's the Bush. Yep. I know it's William Bill Clinton, became the governor of Arkansas Not sure what year that was.
I can tell you.
Go ahead. You guys.
I got that
by
stuff.
the way, and maybe y'all can know. Maybe y'all know this. This is maybe some history. We live in Kansas. How come it's not Kansas? Or how come it's not Arkansas?
Yeah, that's always been
Do
a
you
good
know
question.
what? So have y'all? Okay, y'all have been here longer than me. Have y'all ever found out why they did that?
I don't know.
Oh, I call it Arkansas.
You do,
Yeah.
but it's Arkansas,
It is Arkansas, but
Or is it?
or
mean,
or is it Kansas?
Yeah.
yeah.
Do we live in Kansas?
Mike changed
Not
my
sure.
mind.
I don't know, but
I don't think I'll be able to. I don't have enough intel. I have just been repeating what I have been told. The indoctrination has,
I can tell you this:
Taking
Kansas
root.
sounds good. Arkansas sounds good.
That's probably
You know what I'm saying? Because Arkansas don't sound good, and Kansas doesn't sound good. So I'm not going to say it.
I think you just got to the bottom of it.
I
right
think
there,
I
dude.
did. It just doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
So William Clinton became governor at what point in time?
Yeah, dude. So let's get into
He's
it.
diving in.
Bill Clinton. So he served as the 40th and the 42nd. So he lost at one point in between. There was some guy in between his two terms of governor of Arkansas from, let's see, January 9th, 1979 to January 19th, 1981. That was his first term. And then January 11th, 1983, all the way to December 12th, 1992. And he stopped being the governor of Arkansas when he began serving as the president of the United States, which was from January 20th, 1993, all the way to January 20th, 2001. Okay. So that's stuff we're familiar with, and we can't talk about Bill unless we also talk about Hillary.
Hillary was there, yeah.
Yeah, so she and Bill met while at Yale and got married in 1975. So everything we're going to be talking about today happens after 1975. So they're both in.
That's
on it.
kind of where it happened right there. 75 on.
75 onward. Yep.
I just saw her I saw her across campus. And I was like, my gosh, that skirt's so short.
What a
I think I'm
perv.
going to run for governor.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so Bill's political career ended in 2001, and that's when Hillary's began. So she served as the United States Senator from New York from 2001 to 2009. And then she served as the 67th Secretary of State during the Obama administration.
Good Lord.
From 2009 to 2013.
Disaster.
Yep. And then she ran for president in 2016, and we all know how that worked out for her. So,
Because you,
She should be in jail.
you'd be in jail.
yeah. Yeah.
Best one-liner ever.
That was.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that, up to this point, has been the end of her political career, essentially. They still have
when she ran.
they still have their foundation, and as we're about to talk about today, their powerful crime syndicate.
Hey, can you talk about something real quick?
Sure.
Because I've always wondered this. So she was Secretary of State, which means she was a senator.
No, she was a senator, and then she was Secretary of State.
Oh, so she was so she lost her senator.
So she
She
went,
lost?
Yeah, so Secretary of State is a higher position. It's
Oh, okay,
it's
gotcha.
it's
So you're
cabinet
not
level
a
position.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So she didn't run again, or she lost as the senator.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think she just didn't run again because Obama tapped her for that Secretary of State.
Okay,
position.
Secretary of State in Obama. Then I run for president.
Mm-hmm.
So since she was out of a senator, she had never been in a public office again.
Right.
When she ran for president. Okay.
Right.
Gotcha. And now she's out completely, just doing talk shows and stuff.
Yeah, so
The View.
that
Killing
Secretary
people.
of State ended in 2013, and then you heard a lot of people say it was her turn to be president.
Yeah.
You ever
Right,
heard
I have
someone
heard
say
of that, yeah.
So yeah, she fully thought she was going to be president.
Well, sure, everybody did.
Everyone did.
I knew she wasn't.
All the pundits.
Yeah.
I love that night. I love that night. They're like, oh, this is
That's
gonna
kind
be
of the best
breeze.
night of my life.
It was.
Yeah, dude. So much meltdown happened then.
People were screaming out.
Yep. So yeah, Clinton body count. Let's get into it. So the term Clinton body count originates. I was able to trace it back to like the early '90s, and specifically a 1994 film called The Clinton Chronicles, which was produced by Larry Nichols, and we'll get into who Larry Nichols is. But as I mentioned before, the Clinton family, the purveying message of this episode is going to be they are a powerful crime syndicate. You know, just like movies like The Godfather and stuff like that. They kill people if they have to. And that's what we're going to talk about. And we're going to be bringing up suicide and stuff a lot in this episode. So, I mean, if that's not your cup of tea, this might not be the episode for you. But
usually that is something that the count is on. Is the suicide?
Yes. Yeah. There's a term called arkancided.
Yes.
Or arkancide.
Arkancide.
Which is basically came about through this whole thing because, as we just mentioned, Bill Clinton was the governor of Arkansas, and that's where, the tale of the tape begins. And basically what arkancide means is, a homicide that was covered up to look like a suicide. You know. So, all right. So, let's get into it. We'll talk about who Larry Nichols is first. So, Larry Nichols... He's kind of an interesting guy. So he was hired by Bill Clinton to be the marketing director for the Arkansas Development Finance Authority, while Bill was the governor of Arkansas. And he grew to be a close friend of Bill Clinton's. And Larry's job, according to interviews he's done, was to basically go and intimidate enemies of the Clinton family. This included women that Bill Clinton had an affair with, women that were accusing Bill Clinton of rape, and people that just knew too much about what the Clintons were involved in. That's what he said. And in 2013, he actually said that he was a hitman on behalf of the Clintons, and then he backpedaled on that in 2015. I'm not sure why. He said he was on painkillers, and he didn't actually mean what he said.
He said that on record?
He said that on record. On a podcast, he said that. Yep.
We got the receipts, folks.
Yep. So... we're not sure if he was telling the truth the first time or if he actually was on painkillers and said something that he didn't actually mean, but take it.
I'm surprised he's not dead.
Right. Yeah. Maybe it would just be too obvious. I don't know. But yeah, we'll get into how ridiculous some of these are, okay? So Larry Nichols is still out there and around. He's not dead. But there was a term, I think, in the 90s, they called people who talked about the Clinton body count as Clinton crazies is what they called them.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is sort of, and now I think it just kind of falls under the blanket of conspiracy theorists because that's, the blanket term that everyone gets insulted with when you speak about things that are true.
The truth.
Because the things that we're saying, hey, XYZ did this and now they're dead. And they said it was suicide, but the suicide doesn't add up because the gun in the back of the head thing, that doesn't make sense. And then we talk about it because there's no proof that actually somebody killed somebody because Clinton said it. It's a conspiracy theory.
Right. Yeah. So let's start getting into some of these victims here. I'll start with one. We have an infographic that I think we'll link in the show notes. We won't go through all of it because someone did a lot of work. We don't want to plagiarize what they did, but they really laid it all out and did a great job. But one of them that's not on here is a very recent one. A guy named Mark Middleton, who on May 2nd, 2022, was found dead on Heifer Ranch in Perryville, Arkansas. And let's talk about who he was.
So that's the most recent?
This is the most recent that I'm aware of.
Okay.
And Middleton served as a special advisor to President Clinton in the 1990s. And Middleton was also the one that signed late pedophile Jeffrey Epstein into the White House.
Oh my God.
7 of the 17 times that he visited. And
17 times?
Yeah, he came to the White House 17 times while Bill Clinton was in
It's
there.
not the same amount of times as 17 times that Bill Clinton went to his island?
I think Bill Clinton went to the island 26 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
These guys knew each other very well. Let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein at the end of the episode because I feel like that would be a good capstone.
Wow.
I think so.
Yeah. But anyway, this guy knew of the Clinton-Jeffrey Epstein relationship, signed him into the White House 7 of the 17 times that he visited, and he is also reported to have flown on Epstein's Lolita Express with Clinton. Okay? So this guy knows exactly what's going on with that relationship. And like I just said, he was found dead on a ranch in Perryville, Arkansas. He was discovered with a gunshot wound to his chest.
Okay.
And an extension cord tying his neck to a tree. So he's like sat down on the ground with a extension cord around his neck and also around a tree. No weapon was found at the scene. The death was officially ruled a suicide.
What?
Makes sense.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
Makes sense.
Why would you?
So that's how ridiculous these are. It's nuts.
How do people get away with signing off on a document for cause of death when there's a cord around somebody's neck
They've been doing
that
it
you
since.
could not tie. What I'm saying, where's the checks and balances?
Yeah.
But they haven't had checks and balances. I mean, we have JFK to prove that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been happening
Oh my God.
since
I
the
just feel like
beginning.
there's got to be some kind of justice out there. Like when the dude said, "Hey, it's a suicide," you go, "No, it's not. What are you talking about?" And shoot him down and like fire the guy.
Right. Because you can come up with two very basic questions that debunk the suicide ruling. Like, how did he tie himself to the tree, and where's the weapon?
Yeah, so, but the person that's asking these questions, do you want to die too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
next. Keep on asking questions. You're next.
Seriously.
See, that's why I don't want to do this show.
Yeah.
Stop asking questions.
Yeah. You'll be okay though.
Okay.
I think we'll all be okay.
Keep on saying that, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike is so confident.
I was like, you guys will be all right. I know things.
Yeah. So
Oh man, Mike will be here 20 years from now. Just him on the show.
no.
I don't know what happened to those guys. They just disappeared.
Suicide.
Yeah, dude, I'd investigate for sure.
You would.
I would for sure.
He'd find us.
I'd write a book about it so everyone would know.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. So yeah, and now we can kind of take it back and start talking about some of the early victims here because this goes back a long time. This goes back to the 70s.
Okay, hold on, because
yeah.
my brain just is tilting. What's the name of the guy you just found by the oak tree tied up?
His name's Mark Middleton.
Mark Middleton. And what was the other guy that you said he knew everything?
Larry Nichols? No.
Yeah.
Larry Nichols.
Larry Nichols, and he's still alive.
He's still alive, yeah.
So it sounds like Mark Middleton and Larry Nichols were kind of they had the same interaction with Bill, right? Weren't they on the planes and I know everything what he's doing and
I don't know if Larry Nichols ever was on the Lolita Express with Clinton. I don't know to that level because their relationship was really just like I think in the early days, and then they kind of had a falling out.
Okay, so he's not side by side with him right now like Middleton was.
Right. Larry Nichols was sort of like buddies with Clinton while he was governor, and then as soon as they fell out and Clinton was running for president, he was
and Larry's the one that said on the podcast.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
I am really concerned for Larry.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. If Middleton's tied up to an oak tree in a ranch and got shot in the chest, I just see no hope for Larry.
Yeah. They might not worry about him because
Anyway.
he kind of flip-flopped on something, and maybe they're like, oh, he's untrustworthy now, so we'll just let him be.
Maybe they got enough on him.
Maybe. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of the early victims from when Bill Clinton was governor of Arkansas are actually surrounding like the CIA's illegal dealings at Mena Intermountain Municipal Airport, and also women that he was having an affair with. So those are like the two big categories here. And yeah, getting into the CIA's illegal dealings that Bill Clinton was entangled with, much of that was part of the Iran-Contra affair.
Contra.
Which was where the United States government was smuggling drugs and guns through the Mena, Arkansas airport to fund a revolution in Nicaragua.
Yes.
So basically what was happening was
Perfect.
U.S. would provide illegal weapons to the Nicaraguan Contras, and they would send us a whole bunch of cocaine.
Wasn't there a movie about this?
Yes.
With Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Well, that was. Oh, he was involved in that scenario doing the drugs.
Yeah.
So he was the guy getting the drugs back.
He was the
here.
guy flying the plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great
Barry
movie.
Seal.
Barry Seal.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, in exchange for cocaine, we would give them all those weapons, and then, those were sold, and the profits were laundered through the Arkansas Development Finance Authority, which is where Larry
course.
Nichols comes from.
Ah,
That's
gotcha.
what
the
he was running.
tie-in.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about some of those early ones.
Hold on.
Okay.
You're moving way fast. We're talking about tons of illegal guns given to people outside of our country, and we're getting payment of cocaine, and nobody's in jail?
Not the CIA, dude. Yeah.
Who? I remember Ollie North. He was a scapegoat on this, but I don't know if he got railed over the coals for cocaine.
Yeah.
I feel like he was just the military guy that was, hey, you screwed up. You shouldn't have given guns to these guys. But that's just really weird when you make that statement.
Yeah.
Hey, we were getting payment of cocaine, and nobody's in jail, except
Yeah.
It's cocaine. It's one hell of a
except
drug.
Barry Seal's dead.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and I heard Barry Seal, he was actually from Louisiana, I believe, and wanted to do it through his own state, but couldn't because they, weren't down for it. So they had to go find, a state that was run by a sleazy governor like Bill Clinton.
The way you said that.
Yeah.
Sleazy.
Yeah, sleazy governor like Bill Clinton.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
They had to go to a state that was like, hey, we got to find a state. We can't do Texas. We can't do Louisiana or Alabama.
Can't do
Wait a
Florida.
minute. What's that guy's name in Arkansas?
William.
Yes, him. He's got a lot of chicks beside him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I heard he also was big into cocaine himself.
Oh, sure.
So it was a win-win for him. He not only gets probably top-notch cocaine from Nicaragua, but he also is in on this money laundering deal and probably
And he got the
enriched
chicks.
himself quite a bit.
And the ladies.
And the chicks.
Yeah, he got a lot of chicks from what
So
I
he,
understand.
what a deal, blowing hookers.
I can't believe this country right now. It's 2023, and the stuff that we've went through,
Mm-hmm.
it's just amazing to me.
Yeah, it's bonkers. It really is.
It's definitely a two-tier justice system.
Yeah.
Because normal guys on the street that do this, they're in jail.
Yeah. Can you imagine if you
You
had,
know what I'm saying?
like, we're looking at this infographic. Could you imagine if you had half of this? Like, just this is what's going on in your circle of people,
No.
and you're the common thread through all of it?
Yeah, puts Jeffrey Dahmer to shame.
Yeah. It
Oh,
really
definitely.
does.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
100%. Yeah, so let's get into some of this early stuff. So Susan Coleman, February 15th, 1977. Who was she? So she was actually going around and telling people that she was pregnant with Bill Clinton's love child.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. And 1977. So Bill was the attorney general at the time, I believe. Oh, yeah, attorney general. Yep. So that's what she was doing. And then what happened to her is the 26-year-old Coleman was found dead with a gunshot wound to the back of the head, which was ultimately ruled as a suicide.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
How do you...
It's not a common way to do
I
it.
can't even do it.
Yeah. Yep.
And she was 7 months pregnant when she died.
Yeah.
I wonder if they did any DNA, or could you have done that with the child?
I'm not sure.
Back then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, pulled the child out and said, oh, this is Bill Clinton's child. We just killed him.
Yep.
That's sad.
It is. So yeah, that one's kind of hard to find information on, but that's, what the rumors around it were, and her death is obviously very weird.
Do you know what she was, when you say she's going around saying, I got Bill Clinton's love child,
She was telling
was she just going on a circuit, like a press docket, and just trying to say this stuff to try to do something? Was she trying to just mess him up? Or
I don't
was
think
she,
it was like that, no.
Or was she like, hey, dude, you got me pregnant. Why don't you take care of me?
Yeah,
Right,
you have a
yeah.
child,
That kinda
take care of this
thing.
baby.
Yes.
I need child support.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really screwed up.
So she basically wasn't keeping it a secret. She was telling people, word was getting around, and it was stopped.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Wonder if Hillary had something to do with it.
I don't know, Hillary's.
Hillary.
No, I mean,
That's a good one.
Yeah. Probably. Absolutely.
Okay.
Just makes me think
Yeah.
of House of Cards.
Yeah.
I mean,
I still have to watch
Nah,
that.
you still have to
I know, I still.
That show's like based on the
I
Clintons.
think, yeah,
100%.
it has to be.
So Kevin Spacey is Bill Clinton?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And his wife in it is Hillary. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
no one else that it could be based off of.
That's true.
100%.
Wow. Go watch it.
I have to watch. I have watched some shows that y'all told me about, like The Push.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other show you just told me about?
Was it a movie called White Noise?
Yes.
Pokemon?
Yeah.
That one's good too.
Oh man. Anyway, I will watch that.
Yeah, dude. And another early one here, Judy Gibbs.
Judy Gibbs.
Yep. Another woman who had an affair with Bill Clinton, and rumors were spreading that she had compromising photos of herself with Bill Clinton while he was the governor of Arkansas. And weirdly enough, her brother-in-law, Dale Bliss, ran a prostitution ring where Judy Gibbs may have been a participant. And when Bliss, her brother-in-law, was arrested for molesting a young boy, they discovered a secret window in his house where he would take pictures of some of the state's most powerful men with his girls.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And the police...
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and the police confiscated everything from his house upon his arrest, so it's all out of there. And then now Judy Gibbs is the only, loose thread here. Judy Gibbs died in a mysterious house fire in her home.
Now, I heard, I was watching the documentary. Maybe I'm getting them too mixed up, but all the photos and things were in the house that got burned up.
Yeah.
All the pictures.
That's convenient.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No cause for the fire was ever established.
Yeah, it says here they had photos of him having sex with her.
Yeah.
Actual sex.
Yes.
Not
The way you're saying it, Byron.
Yeah. They had
Well, I'm just saying, he said compromising positions. I'm like, that could be just like holding her up or something. I'm like, no, actual sex.
Yeah. He had like a secret window to basically get these photos.
Oh, and she was a penthouse playboy. Or not a playboy. What do you call them? A penthouse
Pinup.
girl.
Pinup, yeah.
Pinup? Is that right?
I think so, something like that. Penthouse pinup, because I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I know it's Playboy Bunny,
Yeah.
but then the penthouse girls are called something different.
Yeah, she was one of those.
I forgot.
Yep. So, pretty weird stuff. Yeah, her house mysteriously burned down. No cause for the fire ever established, which is weird.
Oh, and guess what? It was near Mina.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Wow, that seems to be the focal point.
Yep. Yeah, so those are two women that were very early on.
So this kind of started all this. These two women,
Yeah.
hey, don't have sex with Bill and don't talk about it
Yes.
or you're going to die.
Right.
Right.
This was the start of that.
It really was.
So it's either, if anybody else is going to have sex with Bill, it's either I'm going to keep my mouth shut or I'm not going to have sex with Bill.
Mm-hmm.
That should be your line right there.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And the next guy we mentioned briefly, Barry Seal. So he was a CIA drug pilot. Okay, so he was one of these people that was involved with the whole Contra thing, was, flying drugs back in the United States at a low altitude and dropping the payloads, basically. Got caught. And then following this fall from grace, he was sentenced to live at a Salvation Army housing complex by a judge who also prohibited him from having any guns or to employ any bodyguards. Okay? So I don't know. That's pretty weird. So he was going to basically be like an informant. And he was gunned down with a machine gun in the parking lot of the Salvation Army housing complex shortly after that.
Yeah.
So he knew too much.
Yeah. I thought he was was he an informant first and then went off the rails and started doing drugs? Or was he doing the drugs for the CIA?
He was doing the drugs for the CIA.
Right.
And then
Okay, so they hired him for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
He wasn't actually a CIA employee, though, right?
I mean,
he wasn't in the
off,
CIA.
Off the books.
Yeah, I think that's...
I think the way the movie portrayed it was that the people that he double-crossed getting the drugs from Nicaragua actually came here and killed him. That's the way they portrayed the movie. But,
Oh, okay.
you know what I'm
Was
saying?
Bill Clinton in the movie?
No, he
wasn't?
should have been. He should have been.
He was in the end credits.
Was he in it?
The end credits.
There was an end credit scene.
Yeah, there was an end credits.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a pretty good drive-by shooting, guys. I couldn't have done it better myself, except for Judy Gibbs.
Except for Judy Gibbs.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, Bill, Barry Seal's dead. He's like, good.
Oh man, this is sad.
Yeah. The next two is really sad. So this is two teenage boys that we're about to talk about. So this is the Kevin Ives and Don Henry case.
17 and 16-year-olds.
Yeah, so this is from August 23rd on 1987.
Wow.
So these
That's when I graduated.
Wow.
Yeah, so these two teenage boys' bodies were found on some train tracks in Alexander, Arkansas. And
Oh, yes.
the initial cause of death was ruled to be smoking too much weed and passing out on the tracks and then getting hit by a train.
I remember this.
Yeah, that's what they said. They said they smoked 20. They kept calling it marijuana cigarettes. We can just say
like who
joint,
says
right?
that?
That's a joint.
It is a joint.
Yep.
Back then they called it marijuana cigarettes.
Yeah, so they were smoking
Mar-
joints.
You were smoking joints.
Blunts.
Yeah, and got hit by a train. That's what they told everybody, and that's what the medical examiner, the first medical examiner,
Of course.
said. And then their families didn't accept
Nope,
that as
they sure
cause,
did
as
not.
cause of death. So what they did is they had their bodies exhumed. They dug up their bodies again. And then they had...
Wait, hold on.
See, checks and balances.
Wait,
Somebody
Doug-
stood up.
I know, but dug them up. They got hit by a train. There shouldn't be anything left.
There was stuff left.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah.
Exactly.
So they were exhumed, and a separate autopsy was...
Wait. Hold on, Mike. I'm sorry to
Hold
interrupt
on.
you. But when a deer gets hit by
He's
a
done.
semi,
He's done.
it explodes.
Yeah. But the deer's standing up. So these kids were like laid across the track. So I think
Yeah, they
it-
could
I
have
think
just
it
been cut in
sliced them.
half. Something like that. Yeah. They were laying down.
Hard to say. I'd need to see the make and model of the train. I'd need to see the ground clearance. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if it had one of those scoop things at the front. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? You can't get under there.
If that's the case, then we...
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
But anyway, the autopsy actually showed there was some stab wounds.
Right.
So there was enough of bodies left over that somebody made out some stab wounds in the back.
At the end, they said, I don't think he's dead yet. Stab. Wow.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep. So yeah, the separate autopsy was performed by an Atlanta medical examiner. So they went out of town. For
Come on,
this.
Georgia.
And they determined the cause of death to be a crushed skull for Kevin Ives. So he was like bludgeoned with something, and a stab wound in the back for Don Henry.
So why? So here's what's interesting. Like Jason was saying, the crushed skull, couldn't that have been done by the axle of the train?
I don't think his head was on the track.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they did have that much evidence. Like he's just laying across. Okay.
Yep.
So then what happened? So it's not a suicide now, right?
Right. Yeah. So that was accepted. And then what Bill Clinton did is he excused the mistakes that were made by the original medical examiner. And he said he was tired and stressed out. That's what he said. He was like, okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. He was tired and stressed out. So it's totally understandable that he got everything wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. And reports indicate that Ives and Henry stumbled upon part of the Mina drug operation and were murdered once they were discovered.
That's right. They actually saw some of the drops
Yeah.
from the plane
Yep.
and
Yeah.
the people that came there and picked it up.
Yep.
The cocaine drops.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there were these like little tiny like airstrips that they were running this out of that were like out in the middle of nowhere, and these kids probably just went out into the woods to smoke weed and see like a low-flying plane dropping something and see some, military people or something. They're like, what did we just come across? And the next thing they know, they're getting killed.
Do you think, did somebody catch them or did they report it?
I think they got caught right then and there.
Oh, so somebody saw them.
Yeah.
Oh, you seen too much, son.
Right. So just for a future reference, if you guys see anything sketchy in the woods, don't go check it out. Go the other way.
Yeah.
Leave.
Mhm.
You don't need to know
Yeah.
anything.
Right. If you see like this is just a small Cessna touching down the middle of, the woods.
Nothing to see here.
No. Like there's not even a runway there.
No.
It just touched down in this little clearing patch.
Leave it alone.
And then you got these people that get out and they're in uniforms. No. Just keep going.
Yep.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Just remember where it was. Get a whole bunch of people to come back the next day, including some police officers, and then maybe you'll get something.
And then nothing's there.
Yeah, and then it's all packed up.
Yeah, it's all gone. Yeah, matter of fact, there's trees all over the place then.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Are you a conspiracy theorist?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's sad. 2 teenagers.
Yeah, dude, for real. And what's weirder is the police chief of Alexander, John Brown, acknowledged that he had received Why is that funny?
John Brown?
Yeah. Had acknowledged that he'd received a taped confession from one of the murderers of the boys, which was then suppressed at the request of the FBI.
Excuse me?
So no one's ever heard it.
Still. to
Say
this
that
day.
again?
Yeah. So the police chief,
John Brown.
acknowledged that he had received a taped confession from one of the murderers of the boys, said that I did it. And then it was suppressed at the request of the FBI. It wasn't made public or anything.
I wonder how did they get that guy to confess on tape?
Maybe he just did it.
Because, I mean,
LSD.
that's strange, though. Because it was initially, they got hit. They were smoking weed and laid out on the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you looking for anybody? Was this after they exhumed the bodies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then they were looking for somebody that killed somebody.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
then some
Gotcha.
guy came clean about it. I don't know if he just felt guilty about killing teenagers and just did it because, I don't know, he just thought he'd
Wow.
come clean about it. Or I
This
I
is
have no
X-Files.
idea. It's weird, dude. It's so weird. Almost as weird as this next one we're about to get into.
Oh, not another 19-year-old.
No, this isn't this one. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. 'cause
Okay. So we're 87. We're going up a little bit.
We're going up to 1993.
Oh,
This one is probably the most famous of all of them, I think.
All right, I'm going 92. Where am I at here? 92. Okay, here.
The guy's name is Vince Foster.
Yeah, keep going. I'll find it.
Okay.
I'm just trying to follow you along with this graphic. It's amazing.
So Vince Foster is a former White House counsel.
Oh, got him. Right
and boyhood friend of Bill Clinton.
We said boyhood.
Yeah, so they were friends back when they were boys. And what happened was he was found dead of a gunshot wound to the head.
Uh-huh.
And it was ruled a suicide.
Right.
He had significant knowledge of the Clintons' financial affairs.
Okay.
And was a business partner with Hillary. And if the Clintons are guilty of the crimes that they're being accused of by Larry Nichols in his film, Vincent Foster would have had detailed knowledge of all of those crimes. So let's get into kind of what happened to him. So his body was found in Fort Marcy Park in Northern Virginia, which is just outside of D.C. And the 1994 investigations led by Robert Fisk stated that his death was a suicide and that there was, quote, no evidence to the contrary.
Wow.
But that is simply not true.
Oh.
And here's why.
Why is it not true?
So here's some of the inconsistencies, some of which were even outlined in Fisk's own report. He mentioned some of these in his own report.
What?
Yes. So let's get into the details here. So police say that Foster walked through the park to the edge of a steep berm, which is just sort of like an embankment.
Okay.
Sat down with like his back towards the steep incline of the embankment.
Gotcha.
And pressed a 1913 .38 caliber pistol deep against the back of his mouth and pulled the trigger.
Oh.
A gunshot wound like this would have been extremely gory because a large caliber handgun like this would leave a large wound while the heart continues pumping shortly thereafter, leaving a lot of blood and brain tissue called blowback all over the weapon.
Sure.
There was
Makes
none.
sense.
The weapon was completely clean.
Absolutely.
Coroners said that the exit wound for the .38 caliber bullet was only about 1 inch wide. Like we talked about in the JFK episode, exit wounds are huge.
Yeah, that's going to blow out the back of the head.
Yeah, his whole back of his head would be blown out if it happened the way they said. There was an unusually small amount of blood under Foster's head. No bone fragments. No bullet was found either, despite an exhaustive search of the entire park that even uncovered, get this, ammunition that dated back to the Civil War. So they found ammunition that went all the way back to the Civil War, but they can't find the bullet that killed this guy.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they searched that hard for a bullet and they couldn't find it. Okay.
Wow.
Yep. We're not even close to the end of the inconsistencies. Powder burns indicate that Foster's hands were not on the grip of the gun.
That's what I was going to ask, the powder burn.
When it was fired. His teeth were not damaged from the recoil of the .38. Seriously.
Teeth weren't damaged.
So
Were not
there's
damaged.
nothing that indicates that he did what they said he did on the official report.
Absolutely nothing. There was no trace of grass or soil on Foster's shoes, even though he allegedly had to walk 700 feet through the park to get where his body was found. No one in the park that day ever saw Foster alive. No one reported hearing a gunshot. Foster's fingerprints were not on the weapon.
He was dumped.
Yeah.
For sure.
He was put there.
Foster's wife could not readily identify the gun as belonging to her husband. And when they looked into it, the .38 was actually made from two guns, fitting the classic profile of a hard-to-trace drop gun, as they call them, which are often used to make murders look like suicides. They're very hard to trace.
A drop gun. Never heard of that.
A drop gun, yeah. Foster was also covered from head to toe with carpet fibers. Yeah. Dude.
I can't. Look, I'm not even a medical examiner.
Yeah.
I'm just some dumb guy on a podcast. And what you're describing is everything that makes sense.
Yes. Like,
you were wrapped up in carpet. You were shot in the head first from behind, dumped on the carpet, just like a mafia killing.
Seriously.
Rolled you up, took you out there in some van, or I wonder if they found tire tracks or something.
We'll get into that. There was
Here we go. It's more.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
I can't handle it.
Blood tracks on his face and shoulder indicate that his head had been moved into as many as 4 different positions, even though death was determined to have been instantaneous. Some of the blood track also inexplicably defied gravity and traveled upwards as he lay. So he's laying on a steep slope, and blood's going this way. Blood's going up his face.
Up his face.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, he wasn't moved. Snopes looked into this, the website Snopes.
Oh,
and they were like, nothing weird happened.
Of course not.
I was like, what?
Snopes probably killed him.
Dude, Snopes.
Wow.
Yeah. So
What you're saying is unbelievable.
seriously.
I haven't heard, be honest with you, I haven't heard of this one.
Yeah.
And in the detail that you're going into,
Mm-hmm.
This is the weirdest one ever. The other ones are kind of like, suicide, back of the head.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. It's weird, but whatever. This one here,
Yeah. This one here.
you can actually forensically see exactly what happened on this crime scene.
Yes.
Yeah, so this one's unique because it's as blatant as it possibly can be.
Yeah.
And so that just tells me a couple things. That the Clintons are untouchable and
Yeah.
they can do whatever they want.
Because they got so sloppy with this one.
This one's super sloppy.
And nothing happened. This is from 1993.
That's
Nothing
nice.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. That's crazy, dude. Like 30 years ago, nothing happened.
This sounds like a mob hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
You know what I'm
seriously
saying?
does.
That's almost like all those emails disappearing from.
From a bleach bit.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you watch the computer?
Yeah. Critical crime scene photographs are missing.
What?
The first paramedics on the scene said it looked like a homicide, and some of their accounts of where they found the body actually differ from where the police say it was, suggesting that the police wanted to conceal the real crime scene from reporters and others. So just about everywhere something weird could happen, something weird happened.
Yeah.
Who found the body? Was it called in or just kind of a fake call in?
It was found by somebody. That person remained anonymous. Yeah,
of
I
course.
looked into
That's
that
the
as well.
person that called
This
in.
couldn't
That's-
get any better unless Clinton had the gun in his hand and they saw him shooting him and they still said
And no.
Yeah.
it wasn't him.
Like
Well, it
you-
depends on your definition of gun.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wasn't me.
What your definition of gun is.
That's
Anyway,
Yeah.
he's so far removed from this stuff, though.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we've got the ties and the threads that lead to him,
Mm-hmm.
you can't touch him.
wild. Yeah, it's also
Because he's like, you can't prove it got back to me.
Yeah. There's too many people in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. And dude,
He's got enough money. He's got deep pockets. He can hire people to
Oh,
do
yeah.
this stuff.
absolutely. 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. An eyewitness, Patrick Knowlton, was at the park about an hour before Foster's body was discovered, and he saw a shady character in a brown Honda with an Arkansas license plate that glared at him after he pulled up. And after he was subpoenaed to appear before a grand jury, he was beginning to be harassed by well-dressed men. They were like following him around and stuff. And he actually took witnesses with him and even hired a reporter to verify all this, that he was actually being harassed. He wasn't imagining it and everything. They were trying to intimidate him into not testifying because he said he could readily identify if there was a lineup in front of him, the person who was in the car. That's what he said.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we have the mysterious letter that the White House offered as Foster's suicide note, quote unquote.
What? There's a note?
Which was actually not a suicide note at all. It was ripped up into 28 pieces and then suddenly appeared in Foster's office briefcase after it had already been searched twice. Yeah.
Why even try?
Like,
Why
it's so
even
sloppy.
Why
Wait,
even
better
try?
question. Why not?
What?
Yeah.
I mean, why do that?
Right.
You've already got all this other stuff.
So this shows.
Because they can.
So this shows they were able to
Hey
get
guys,
into.
look.
They're able to get into Foster's office and
gosh.
plant things, remove things. We don't know what they removed. They probably removed some damning evidence against them. The note actually had no fingerprints on it, and handwriting experts, 3 different handwriting experts, declared it an obvious forgery.
Oh, they're probably dead.
They could be.
No, those guys.
Yep. And then you had just up and down FBI agents were misrepresenting what witnesses were reporting to have seen, so that Patrick Knowlton guy had to keep telling them like actually what he saw because they're, oh, so you're saying this. And he was like, no, that's not what I said. They kept trying to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And they kept trying to get witnesses to change their stories as well. And And yeah, it's like you guys mentioned, this government cover-up of these types of deaths carry just horrible implications for everybody, basically, because it shows that, like, law enforcement agencies can be subordinated for political reasons, because this is an open and shut homicide, basically. Like, a layman can tell you that. You don't have to be a forensic expert.
Right. Yeah, everything you just read off. Anybody listening to this, to the sound of our voice, can obviously tell what happened.
Yeah.
Without even stepping foot on the crime scene.
Yes. Yeah. So there's true experts out there that, like, look at all this evidence and they're just, like, baffled at, like, how anyone could think this was a suicide. So yeah, all of us are threatened by that for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I'm not suicidal.
Neither am I. Neither is Jason.
Just keep saying that.
Right, Jason, you have to say it.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, dude. So let's move on to 1996. There's a guy named Ron Brown. Ron Brown. This is a crazy one, dude. So
like the one you just did was not crazy.
Yeah, dude. They're all so crazy. So April 3rd, 1996. So who was Ron Brown? He served as the United States Secretary of Commerce during the first term of President Bill Clinton. And he was being investigated for corruption. He was on the verge of being indicted and stated publicly that he's willing to cooperate and make a deal with the prosecutors. And what happened to him was he died along with 34 others in a plane crash in Croatia, which obviously put an end to his ability to testify, of course.
Of course.
But what's weirder is the very next day, Ron's personal lawyer was murdered in a drive-by shooting.
What?
What's weirder yet, a few days after that, the air traffic controller who had been in charge of the aircraft crash was found dead, and it was declared a suicide. Yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, dude. Isn't that wild?
Oh, man. I don't even...
I can't even...
I can't even. So this guy was going to tell some secrets.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this guy in trouble for corruption that was probably pervasive throughout the Clinton administration. You know, he was in the know.
Yeah.
He was going to probably reveal damning information about Bill Clinton because, as we've discussed already, the guy's corrupt as it gets.
Yeah.
Same with Hillary.
Right, both of them.
Yeah.
And then you got that Clinton Foundation.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
tons of money.
Pay for play.
I don't mean to go back to this, but just real quickly with Vince Foster, because I saw something in here about Whitewater.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Because he was going to testify with Whitewater.
What was the
Whitewater what was Whitewater?
Stuff? Oh.
Do we know?
Yeah, so, I mean, I can speak about it on, like, a high level. I don't know if I can dive into huge
Well, it's
detail.
okay. I don't remember what that was.
That was a scandal where Bill and Hillary Clinton had some money and some real estate development that was going to take place through this company that was developing the land around some river. I think it was like the White River or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And it ended up being, you know, a huge scandal for some reason or another. I can't remember. I think it was some financial.
And he knew about it.
Yeah.
And he was going to testify against it. Okay, gotcha.
Right. Yep. And
Thanks for that.
Yeah, and Bill Clinton never got in trouble for that either.
Of course
from
not.
From what I'm aware.
Or would he?
Yeah.
Now, when was he president? 94.
Yeah, he was president until 2001, 1993 to 2001.
Yeah.
So 93. So we got that was Vince Foster, and then we got the weird Ron Brown while he's president.
Yeah.
And then all this stuff going on with the Contras, that was happening, right? While he was president?
That stuff was earlier. So
Earlier.
Yeah, that was back when he was in Arkansas.
What was going on when, the Monica Lewinsky thing? Something happened, and it was like, oh, let's look. Cigars and
Yeah.
semen on the dress. Let's look at that. But something else was happening that made us look over here at the scandal in the White House.
Yeah, I think that basically was like the cover story for a lot of this stuff that was going on in the early 90s. So like the Vince Foster thing.
Oh, okay. So all these deaths and the testify things. Oh, well, let's look what's going on with the White House with the cigar and the semen on the dress and stuff.
Right. Yep. So yeah, like when people go and check out this infographic, like you'll see how many people they're actually. It's alarming numbers of people, and if even half of them are accurate.
Right. So let's just say that half of them were. I mean, it's still too many for it to be a coincidence.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. And just like the breakdown of it, there were 16 aircraft crashes that killed people.
Yeah, go over that road. Yeah.
20 suicides. Well, I guess actually more than 20 suicides now because I listed one that wasn't on this list.
The dude with the oak tree?
Yep.
Okay.
22 bodyguards and escorts.
What?
Yep. 56 military and law enforcement personnel. 8 investigative journalists. 7 female interns, assistants, and affairs. 5 fundraisers. 13 lawyers. 23 witnesses. 11 political staff. And 5 medical personnel. Weird.
How do you stay alive that long? You know, without creating that many enemies. You create enemies, but staying alive. I'm surprised no one's put a hit on
How come
him.
nobody smoked him out? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. He's like a mob boss.
He's like the top, like, maybe he's got the cash that nobody can touch. And they're like, if I take him out, I'm going to lose my pad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to take him out because I've got this thing going.
Yeah. There was probably a whole bunch of inside baseball going on that we can only guess at. And I guess this all kind of, you heard Clinton body count, you know, being hashtagged and stuff when Jeffrey Epstein got killed in prison. Right. And based off people I've talked to, I don't think a single person I've talked to, even people that are, well, we would consider like normies.
Yeah.
No one thinks he killed himself.
Well, no.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense, right?
No, they've even tried to prove it.
With, like, are you talking about, like, what Crowder did?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
He actually hung himself with a bed sheet, and it didn't work.
Yep. Yeah, dude.
The way they described, his death.
I assume once Jeffrey Epstein got taken in, there was probably like a Zoom call or something with like Bill Clinton and like Prince Andrew and like all these guys that were in on this pedophile ring. They're like, okay, they got him. What do we do?
Yeah, what do we got?
And then they probably all were making phone calls and
They said we know what to do. We're all in agreement, right?
yeah.
And they said, yeah, absolutely. Let's make it happen.
Right.
Yeah, they were probably like, all right, we need like $100,000 to grease the guards to turn off the cameras. For
turn off the
30
cameras.
minutes and,
That's
Now we
what
know
gets
we
me,
know he's
that
gonna
the cameras were turned off.
we know
Yeah.
he's going to commit suicide, right? So how's that going to work?
Yep.
People commit suicide in prison every
Every
day.
day.
Mhm.
So it's nothing new. Bed sheet to the neck. Yeah.
What about the cameras? How do we get those off?
yeah, cameras were off.
Somebody got paid a lot of
He
money.
actually had fractures in his neck,
Yes.
which are only seen like when you get like strangled.
Yeah.
Like if you're just tying a bed sheet around your neck and then sitting into it and choking yourself out that way, and going out that way.
I wonder if they paid some guy in the prison that's incarcerated that they own in the prison, or if it was somebody from the outside.
It might have been his cellmate, dude. He had that one cellmate who was like a former police officer that was also a murderer.
Yeah, that's right.
He was like a big muscular guy too. I can't remember his name. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Wow.
But I would assume Epstein knew it was coming. Like,
Well,
you're not that up. You're not that high up.
Well, let me ask you
knowing
this:
that you're gonna be-
what was the charge? Why was he in? Was he in prison? He already convicted?
No.
He was waiting on an
waiting.
arraignment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, waiting. For
And what was the charge? Why was he in jail?
Was it? I don't know.
It wasn't pedophile, was
No, it was money. It was financial.
It was IRS, wasn't it?
Something along that.
No, you didn't pay your tax. It's always the taxes that always get you.
So it was the tax man.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to keep the
We can't get him.
pedophile ring hidden.
We
from the
can't
public.
get him on pedophile. What can we get him on? Oh, he didn't pay his taxes.
Yeah, so I can't find his name, but this was his cellmate, this jacked guy.
Whoa!
Yeah, so that guy probably could have strangled him pretty
That
easily.
guy's looking. He looks like he's about to kill that dog.
Yeah, these dogs.
That dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would bet money that guy took him out.
I would bet as well.
What
I wouldn't.
wasn't there like either computer files or a little black book with their names in it? The Epstein list.
That's what I've heard. So that was
Has that been brought forward?
dude, and yeah, all this goes into the memory hole so quickly because like whatever happened with the Ghislaine Maxwell case,
Yes.
right? Because after Jeffrey Epstein was taken care of, now she's on trial, right?
Yeah, no, I think they just wrapped that up. She got sentenced.
She did?
I believe so. Check it out. Like in the last couple
She did?
months. Yeah.
For what?
They-
Taxes?
No, they haven't.
Let me see if I can.
Oh, like a pedophile ring?
Yeah, they didn't say much.
That's weird.
Let's see.
But here recently, they're talking about the traffic logs, the air traffic logs.
Mm-hmm.
And where's that? I haven't seen that come to light. With people's names that were actually on flights going to the island. Right?
What island?
Oh, Atlantis.
Exactly.
Yeah, let me see if she was sentenced.
Man, if y'all could see this, of course, this is a audio only, but Jason's in here with shades.
Yeah.
It's kind of dark in the room, but he is like chilling, dude.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
Why?
So I can see.
Okay. Wow, 80s guy.
Yeah.
Hey, what's funny while you're looking that up? I'm just looking at this infographic. 1999, John F. Kennedy Jr.? Why is he on this list?
John F. Kennedy Jr. That's a different John F. Kennedy.
Well, I'm just saying that's his name, John F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, I don't know. Looks like he died in a plane crash.
Potential candidate for senator for New York.
Oh, okay, that goes.
So he had a Dateline story hinting at a possible run for the Senate seat, and assumed to be the property of Hillary Clinton. JFK Jr. and his wife and sister-in-law died in the Piper, Saratoga. That is one of the Kennedy brothers, right? That's the one that died. That's the one that got killed in the plane. What did you mean it was a different Kennedy?
It wasn't the president, JFK.
Oh, no. I knew that. This is his son, right?
It must be.
Or his brother?
Yeah, it says junior. Mm-hmm. Dude, there's a ton of Kennedys that have died in weird ways.
Right. I can't believe Ted's still alive.
Yeah.
For now.
Wow, so he was one of the ones. Oh, Miss Kennedy was pregnant at the time. They died July 16th, 1999, plane crash. That was one of them.
Yeah, I remember that, actually.
I do too, but I didn't know he was connected to Clinton. Body count.
Okay, I found what happened to Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine.
It might be Ghislaine. I don't know how to pronounce that name.
Yeah, it's weird. There's an S in there. It
silent.
just throws me
Or
off.
Ghislaine. Maybe Ghislaine.
Just call her Gillaham.
So on the 29th of October, 2021, Maxwell was found guilty and convicted by a jury in a U.S. federal court on 5 sex trafficking-related counts, carrying a potential custodial sentence up to 65 years imprisonment. One of sex trafficking a minor, which has a maximum of 40 years. One of transporting a minor with the intent to engage in criminal sexual activity,
Wow.
which carries a maximum of 10 years. And 3 of conspiracy to commit choate felonies. I don't know what that means.
It's nasty, though.
Let's see.
Whatever it means.
Means completed or perfected in and of itself. Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Maxwell was acquitted on the charge of enticing a minor to travel to engage in illegal sex acts. Maxwell's family said the appeal process, so they're appealing it, it sounds like. Weird. Okay.
Why is she not dead?
Yeah. So
Does she know the Clintons?
I think it's too obvious.
Yeah.
Does she know that? Is she connected to the Clintons, though? She's connected to Epstein,
Yeah,
right?
she's connected.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was Epstein's right-hand lady.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like she
Well,
was...
that's weird. So she has to know the same stuff that Epstein knew.
Oh, absolutely. She does.
So it looks like she was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Prosecutors were seeking a sentence of at least 30 years. But
and is she currently in a cell right now?
it sounds like it, yeah.
She's dead.
So let's see.
I'm surprised she's not dead.
On July
It's
20th,
suicide.
It's too obvious.
It's too obvious. Epstein was obvious.
she was transferred from Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn to a low-security federal prison for female inmates at FCI Tallahassee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, there's one of the. I mean, put that on the list, boys.
Yeah.
She's one. I think she's next.
You think she's next?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Epstein's down.
Yeah.
She was the right-hand girl.
Yeah.
She was on the island.
So I don't know
She's
why the names
transporting
never got...
minors.
Like, I don't understand why the names never got released.
I know. I heard about it. There was rumors like, hey, we have this flight log of people that actually flew to the island.
Mm-hmm.
There's this list, and then it's like, poof, down memory hole, like you said.
Yeah. All gone. And no one ever heard about it.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a very interesting rabbit hole to go down. And like I said, Snopes says this is all BS, but I mean, I think we hashed out a few of them pretty well, and some of them leaves no doubt that it is fishy.
Let's just do one. Let's just say all of them are false, except for the Epstein one. Because the Epstein one, it's pretty new.
Yeah.
That's enough. The Epstein one is enough.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Do we have an exact count? I know we went over a lot. Did you actually get down to a number?
Of how many people were on here?
Yeah, the body count.
It's like 50 plus.
50 plus. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 50 plus people that have been connected to the Clintons are dead because they knew something or they saw something
Absolutely.
that they didn't like.
Yeah. In like a 3-month period, like 13 bodyguards went down. So, I mean.
What?
Yeah.
Bodyguards? Like I'm the bodyguard for the Clintons and I saw something.
And you saw something. And now you're on a plane with all the other people who saw it, and the plane's going down.
Dude, like at some point, wouldn't people go, I'm not working for those people?
Yeah.
Like at some point, if you're a bodyguard, you're like, dude, I'm going to become one of the body count people.
Yeah.
You better
like send like letters to people. Hey, I'm not suicidal. If I come up missing, this is where my last address is.
I think
you would have to get some kind of thing to make sure, like a flash drive, and hide it under a baseboard or something.
Still wouldn't work.
No.
Yeah.
Still wouldn't
Tell
work.
us, Jason, how can these people save themselves that are working for the Clintons right now?
You can't.
You'd have to be willing to go down, and I guess you could maybe, let's say you knew something that no one else knew. You tell one person that thing and say, if anything happens to me, release this, and it's on that flash drive you just said. Maybe that's a way you could take them down with you.
Yeah, that's true.
But even then, it would probably get memory hold.
Yeah,
because
there's so many webs. It's like one person can't have it all the information. You know, people, there's like bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Like you may have saw something, but there's a lot more than the thing that you saw that would bring them down.
Yeah, and
we need Hillary to flip on Bill.
Ooh.
Yeah, I heard they don't even stay in the same house most of the time. I heard they actually hate each other.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure.
But they just know too much about each other that like they could both like have the other one go down maybe.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we need to get her to a place where she doesn't care.
Yeah.
She's like, the whole ship's going down. I'm going down.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Yep. And they make jokes about this. Did you see that clip from, I think it was like Trevor Noah's show? He like Hillary and Chelsea Clinton
I saw that.
were on there, and he was like, how did you kill Jeffrey Epstein? She's like, ha, 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 doing her.
I got no power.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know what I did to make these people hate me so much. And it's like, but you got, I did see that clip where Trevor's just like, it's funny. Like you can't sit there and read what you just read about that one guy and Trevor and just Trevor go, well, no, it was a suicide. Nobody had anything to do with that. Yeah.
He's a shill.
You took the words right out of my
It's
mouth.
a shill.
Yeah. All the late night TV funny guys, they all are.
They're bad.
Yeah.
They're just bad. It's just
I
bad.
call them funny guys, but most of them are not
They're
funny.
not funny at all.
They're not at all.
Colbert is the cringiest.
Oh, yeah. Seriously.
Just bad.
Dude,
hey,
he
here's
sucks.
what's funny. Did you see when Norm Macdonald was on The View years ago talking about the Clinton body count?
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Uh-huh.
He's like, what? You don't know about this?
And he's like, I thought it was a
I
matter
thought
of
this was a
public
public record. Norm, you can't say that.
I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's funny.
That was really good.
It's like they knew what he was talking about, though.
They did. Yeah.
And they were like, had to shut it down because we can't say those things because we don't have any proof.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that people talks about, like what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
If they were here on the show, they'd try to shoot us down because we don't have proof.
Right. Yeah. It is what it is. It seriously is.
But
It's
we're
like,
just talking about, what we see and what reports have given us. I mean,
yeah. I mean, the Vince Voster case, I mean,
That's crazy.
If that doesn't do it for you,
that has to do it for you guys.
like you could explain this to like a Hillary Clinton voter from 2016, they'd probably still be like, no.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They'd be like, no.
Powder burns? What's that?
Yeah.
They'd be like,
They don't have to be powder burns on a gun.
Yeah.
And his teeth can be intact. What are you talking about?
yeah, you'd start talking about it. They'd be like, oh, here comes the tinfoil.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, you can say this stuff until you're blue in the face, but
They don't.
until they're ready to hear it,
They're never going to be ready to hear it.
yeah.
You're right.
That's why they'll always get away with it.
Always.
Yep.
Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up for the body count of the Clintons. 50 plus people that are dead have committed suicide in strange and various ways. So if you know the Clintons, I suggest you call somebody and get out of there quickly.
Yeah.
Once again, we'll say that we are not suicidal. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Please go to the Instagram. Follow the link there to all of our podcast platforms. If you're listening on YouTube and you like this episode, or you're listening on Rumble and BitChute, please like, share, and subscribe to those channels and leave a comment. If you're listening on any other podcasting platforms, please turn on notifications so that you never miss when we publish an episode. If you did not like this episode of the Body Count of the Clintons, I thank you for listening this long. And tune in next week when you might hear Mike say,
What's the deal with all these train derailments?
"Oh, the Clintons."